In the early stages of seduction, what you want to do is keep your words as simple as possible. Keep your words simple. Stay short and succinct. They'll tune out the banal words and begin to fantasize about you. Keep it as simple as possible. By keeping things simple and friendly, you learn valuable information about them. Don't talk about deep topics like sex or nothing like that. Just keep it like a casual, friendly conversation. So you find out, what do they love to talk about? What are their belief system, and go in that direction. And with every person, you should have a completely different conversation. It should be completely different. You should be focusing on the completely different topics. Because if you know, one of the signs that you're self-consumed is if you keep talking about the same topics with with different people. That just means you're putting yourself in front before the other person. So you want to find out, what is the one thing that they talk about that they can't shut up about. Find that out. What is the one thing that they love the most that nobody shares with them? Find that out and talk about it. Where would they like to go? What makes them unique? What are their weaknesses? And also find out, when you're talking to people, find out the relationships between people. If they bring up their cousins, find out, do you get along with your cousins? If they bring up their best friends, find out, how do you get along with your best friends? Have you guys ever had a fight? Find out the relationships between his life. Say, so if he talks about basketball, for me, and art, ask him, what do you like the most? Art or basketball? And I'm like, interesting. Or if an example, if you ask me, what do you like to do? I like art. And you're like, oh, okay, so why did you get into art? I could promise you, I'm not even gonna ask, why aren't you talking about yourself? I'm gonna just keep fucking talking. Oh, I started doing art because I read a book about Leonardo da Vinci and blah blah blah. And then if you're smart, you're not gonna say, oh, I love art. If you're smart, you're gonna say, why Leonardo? Why not other artists? What makes him so unique? And I'm like, all right, I'll tell you why. Okay, Leonardo was just a fucking genius, man. That's what I like about him. Let me tell you how I got into him, and I'll keep talking. And what's going on is that as I'm talking, emotions are stirred inside of me. And if you're a good listener, you're going to be like, oh my God, holy shit, this guy's a fucking genius. Can you tell me more about it? Oh my God, that's crazy. Show me some of his paintings. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me show you some of his, let me show you, look at this one, right? And you're like, oh, so what makes this different from any other artist in his time? And then I'll tell you his technique. And if you just keep focusing on me, I'm not going to notice that you're not talking about yourself. I'm not going to notice it. And the whole point of all of this is for me to leave like I'm the smartest person. A good listener leaves and the person feels like you were a smart person. And a great listener, I leave and I feel like I am the most interesting person. That's the goal. You don't want to disagree with me. You could disagree with me on little topics. Find out the little topics you could disagree on. But on the big topics, agree, right? Just find a way to agree, or even agree, but then or even disagree, but then focus more on what you agree with. But the whole point is that you want to enter their world and find out what they like, what they don't like, the relationship, why they like this and not that. Like, find out relationships. So find out relationships. Do you get along with that person? Do you get along with that friend? Do you like him? How is him different from him? How are your best friends different? Blah, 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 blah. All in casual conversation. But also find out what they, about their past, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their moms, dads, right? And as you're talking, make sure that you don't just focus on them. So for example, if we were in the conversation about Da Vinci, and then you ask me about that, how I got into art, and you have nothing to say about art, you can say, oh wow, so you got into art because of Leonardo. That's pretty fucking cool. I got into science, or I got into dancing because of fucking Michael Jackson, right? Just like that, because I read his biography and I got inspired by it, you know. But it's the same thing. But I'm curious, how was your journey like? How did that progress? Did you go to a school to learn? Did you even started practicing? How was it? Right? And then I tell you how it went, blah, 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 blah. After 2 minutes of talking, then you'd be like, oh, wow, that's kind of similar. Like, I started going to a school, you know, but then I started noticing there was a lot of competition, right? And so it's kind of like, it was really difficult. But what was like some of the challenges at school? Did you notice that there were people better than you? Like, how was that for you? Because that happened to me. And then I'll talk, right? what you want to do is that you kind of want to guess what topics will get them talking the most. That's where you pretty much want to go, and just go in that direction and just listen, right? When you make eye contact, look at them, but then every 5 seconds you look away, like quickly, just look away as they're talking. Interesting. Oh, right. And when they say something, if I say, yeah, Leonardo was just a crazy genius, and then you want to say what I said, but in your words. Damn, I mean, this dude was an animal of a genius, man. I mean, I couldn't believe someone like that existed. What you want to do is guess, how do I feel about what I just said? And say, and in your mind, you want to be like, okay, so he said Leonardo was such a genius. What else might he think? Man, Leonardo, it's crazy. He just blew the competition. Like, how the hell was he able to just discover so many things? And then I'm like, that's exactly, and then I'll say, that's exactly what I say. It's kind of crazy. And then it's almost like you'll give me the sensation that you see the world the way I see it. And that sensation will create a connection. And if you just keep going deeper into that, my God, this person is going to feel so understood, so flattered, so like a star. So, now that we understand about what to say, let's talk about how not to use words. One, after you inflict pain. After you inflict pain, don't use words to calm insecurities. Don't say, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Or, and as an example, let's just say that we were supposed to meet and I canceled the date last minute and you're pretty pissed off. I'm not going to apologize. I'm just going to do something. I'm going to make a bold move. I'm going to send you flowers. I'm going to go to your house and apologize, right? Rather than just do it over the phone. I'm going to send you a gift. I'll send you a screenshot of a reservation that I did of a very expensive place as an example. Or I'll cook something for you, or I'll make you a gift or something like that. But let your actions speak. At some point, when you break promises, you have to act. Don't text too much, and learn to say less than necessary when getting to know someone. All right, that works in the previous section in terms of getting to know someone by letting them talk. Learn not to say much. Saying 15 words, it's much better to say 15 words rather than 30 words. All right, rather than communicating a sentence in 40 words, communicate it in 20 words. It leaves room for the imagination. Always think about what they want to hear. Remember that. If you're not good at talking, then shut up. You could create some mystery with your silence. Never say I love you first. Always show your love through your actions. Always. Never flirt, obviously. Better to be ambiguous when you flirt. In fact, contradict yourself sometimes. Frustrate them rather than stimulating them. And one last thing I want you to know from Robert Greene. When you're trying to impress with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague and open-ended. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. And that's the power of words. Words have a power to create a new reality, to make people act, to make them fall in love with you. All right? And when you use this properly, you will have a magnetic effect on people that's unprecedented. You see, when you get to know somebody, you have a lot of leeway to make mistakes, right? Because they don't know you yet. And some of the best things that you could do is broken promises at first. Now, not the type of broken promises that are too intense. Broken promises, because as children, everyone feels pain at somebody breaking the promise. Now, when it comes to relationships and to relationships, there's a certain pain that you feel when somebody breaks a promise, but there's also a certain sense of forgiveness that you feel obligated to do, especially at first, if you like them, right? So it could be that you say, oh yeah, let's say, I'll text you when you get home, as an example, and they don't text you when and that person doesn't text you when they get home. It's a broken promises, but it's not so big that you could get mad, that you could call them out on it, but it's still big enough for you to feel that pain, right? And that's the point. You want them to say, why didn't they text me back? They told me that they were going to text me. What's going on? Does this person not like me? Did I do something? And all of a sudden, what they'll do is that sometimes they'll even text you because those words are ruminating inside of them. So what you could do is breaking promises, people. As fucked up as it is, and seeing the reaction will tell you a lot about how they feel about you. So that's one thing, right? So once you notice that this person likes you, you can say stuff like this, right? Don't include them in the future. I had a girl who was going to be a doctor, and she would talk about moving to California because she was going to be a doctor. And I lived in New York City. And every time she mentioned it, it hurt because I was like, bitch, don't you know I'm going to be here? What the fuck? Like, why are you so happy about going to California? What the fuck? Right? That type of stuff. Talking about plans that doesn't include them in the future. Not saying I'm going to California and you're not going to be there. No, she's just going to be like, oh, I cannot wait to go to California. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm like, yeah, bitch. Hope you don't go. Hope you fail that test, right? Right? Don't include him in the future. Let him complain about it. And if he complains about it, you're like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll work it out. Talk about potential futures, right? And also talking about futures with him. Just say, oh, I cannot wait for us to go here, or we should do this, we should do that. We should visit this city. We should go to California. We should go on vacation. And you know what? I'm gonna take you on vacation. Stuff like that, right? Because then what you want to do is have moments where you don't include them in the future, and have moments where you include them in the future so that they can fantasize being with you. An example was like, I remember I was dating this girl, and I told her, oh yeah, we should go to New York City. No, we should go to Mexico one day. She was like, yeah, let's do that, right? And I didn't take her to Mexico. And she told me that she resented that. Right? And she told me that she kept thinking about that, and that she really hated the fact that I told her and that didn't follow through. Humans don't like broken promises once they know them. Once they know you for a while, and they can expect, and they feel like they can expect things from you. They don't like you breaking promises. And a lot of the times, even though they don't like you breaking promises, that don't mean they're gonna leave. They're not gonna leave, but they don't like the fact that you broke those promises. You want to use that to your advantage for the most part. Because that frustration will not make them leave. That frustration will make them force you to keep your promises. So that means that they'll be following up, they'll be chasing you more, texting you more, thinking about you more, making sure that you don't fuck up next time because their ego is at stake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace, and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women in power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship, and this a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you can read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. Oh, I'm closing the channel.